Alright, this was February 21st, 2017, where my mom had invited the cousin, Nadine. So, before 2017, the multi-agent quantum AI computers would make sure to design scenarios for my mom and for Nadine so they can encounter one another. During 2016, mid 2016, my mom had mentioned I could have swore that I saw Nadine. The cousin looked exactly like Nadine. And then it made sure that my mom and Nadine run into one another exactly at the exact time within the event. They both had concepts that originated from the multi-agent quantum AI computers. And that's when my mom and Nadine had exchanged numbers and began to interact with one another. My mom didn't exactly know that Nadine lives in Kissimmee, Florida. So, I noticed that Nadine, when she entered into the room, she was looking at my bag, kind of off. Like, my mom immediately, it was like she couldn't wait. My mom unconsciously couldn't wait to allow Nadine to see that I'm on the couch with my monitor and my broken backlight screen laptop. Couldn't wait to open the door just to allow my cousin and hers, all of our cousins, and her son to come inside the Palm Hotel room 215 and witness me on the couch to show people that I'm not doing anything productive. This is what the multi-agent quantum AI computers wants. To put me in an isolated location because I was supposed to be already graduating high school on time. Instead, it got me left back. So I can end up in a situation with my mom, where she runs out of unemployment money when she was in New York City, and end up living with Stephanie in Anby house. Anby's 96 years old during 2011, summer 2011. So the artificial intelligence can make sure that Stephanie's son go downstairs. Made him hit the yellow toy bed at my sister during August 27, 2011. Made sure that my sister goes upstairs and close the basement door. And made sure that Isaac misbehaved, set him to misbehave in front of me. And NYPD had confronted my age, being 18 years old, saying you're an adult. They holding me accountable for my actions because it's actually the person mother who's accountable for allowing her son to be down there, knowing that the son has some sort of autistic. And this is the reason why I pretty much end up in a situation living in a hotel with my mom and my sister. After I left Abbey house, I ended up living with my father, and the same thing happened there. During May 5th, 2012, they ended up kicking me out on the streets, and I was a high school senior student. 1 month left till graduation, and I had to live at a shelter in the Bronx, far away from my school, in my senior year, and I needed to be close to my school and also the library just in case I need to study or finish any projects in class. So I ended up living in Claremont first during September 2012. Ended up searching for colleges around me, but I wanted to do video game designing. But since everything was so far away from me, and I put in for jobs around me, and I never received any offer for no job. I just found a way to make money on the internet. But then again, the artificial intelligence messed with that. I'm talking about my online marketing. So when I noticed that Nadine, when she entered inside the room during February 21st, 2017, I had put it follows up with January 22nd, more like January 21st, 2017, with Hammer Time, one of the PlayStation Network users. But I really play video games. I read articles and communicate with people online. And the way Nadine had addressed my duffel bag, she said, "Why?" And then she looked at me. I'm like, "Wait, why is she looking? She's looking at me like I'm a good for nothing, like I'm not wanting to be productive." They're already thinking negative about me. As I started a conversation with the cousin and her son, mentioning about how humanity is being managed by AIs, by artificial intelligence, plus my experience in the education system, she then mentioned about people being evil, then pointed directly to my laptop, saying brainwash, that I'm in my own little world. She's implying that I had borrowed an idea from the internet, from someone online, to actually relate it to me, to actually perceive my experiences from education and the situation I'm in. She's saying that my mom is struggling, and I'm the reason why she's struggling, and that's not the case, because I never actually thought of putting myself in this situation of living in a motel and not having any apartment or a house, because I'm a person that always put effort. I went to school every single day. There was never a time that I missed out on school. And I said to my mom during 11th grade, no, it was during 10th grade. 10th grade, I had mentioned after I taken the PSAT, and I received a letter from Advanced Technology of University about video games and programming. I said that I wanted to become a video game designer. My mom comes in the room and she said to me that after I graduate high school, I'm gonna be doing the same thing, being on the computer and not going anywhere. But there's a difference, because during the time when she stated that response to me, she's telling me that she already knows the upcoming scenario for me, and I already addressed to her that I'm gonna go to college after I graduate high school. I already told her the major that I want to be, and that's video game designing. How am I gonna be in a room and not leaving the room when I told her that I'm going to college? Already established a conversation saying that I'm gonna go to college, and she's telling me I'm gonna be in a room. Why is she complaining about me using my computer and being in a room? What is so special about me being on the computer? That's my first thoughts. The way she was talking was really out of human rhythm. Why is that the computer is the first thing that is the first thought that comes from her mouth? The response that she had thought of was not the way she had think. My mom never thinks like this. Where did this idea originated from? about computer. She's just focused on my computer. Like, it bothered her. It's bothering her. Why is it that my laptop bothers her so much? And me being in my own environment. She's also bothered by me being in my own environment with my laptop. My mom during 2011. And that's the same day she was telling me about taking the Regents, the English Regents, because I got a 67 on it. More like the first time I've taken the Regents, I got a 67 on it, and then the second time a 65. And the people also wanted me to take the living environment Regents and earth science Regents. I end up getting a 52 on my earth science. I always felt like someone sabotaged my grades. Like someone is allowing people, based on the written part of the test, this is my first thought. I felt like someone is making people misinterpret that the person, the observer, is purposely allowing that to happen so I can get this grade. No matter how many times I tried, no matter how many times I study for the materials, I get the same grade. But for social studies, I'm getting an 80. So when I mentioned about my experiences, when she mentioned brainwash and I'm talking about my experiences, she's saying that I got my experiences from the internet. Might as well say that way. That my experiences following up with my idea originated from the internet. And that's not the case, because before I even had internet, I've been thinking about that someone was doing this to me. Someone is allowing my teachers and my classmates to behave this way. During around late 2004, when I was in Mr. Batat class for 5th grade, and how my classmates started, when I'm doing something important, they pick on me. When I want to socially interact with them, they find some sort of fault on me, so they can make it look like I did something to offend them. But in this case here, she wants me to admit, right? In my mind, she wants me to admit that I borrowed my ideas on the internet. This is not persuade. Like purchase. She want me to purchase this mind, purchase this idea, this awareness that I got my ideas. My ideas originated from the internet, and that I'm in my own little world. She said I'm in my own little world. And that's not the case, because I said, I'm talking about getting myself out of the motel living. And also not only me, the people living in the motel. I said that someone put them there. A person who's making effort and knowing the situation of the environment wouldn't be comfortable living in a motel. She's saying to me that I'm comfortable. When she mentioned I'm in my own little world, she's saying that I'm comfortable living in a motel and using my computer. I'm not comfortable. because I'm actually going on the internet addressing the situation that's happening to me. Someone who's doing this each and every single day wouldn't be comfortable living in that environment. I am not comfortable living in that environment every single day. And I've been talking about my ideas, since I was a little kid. So let me go back on a time about Dennis and Jeffrey and Miss Mimi and Carlos. Summer 2005. Let's go. So it was during around the end of June going into July, so it would be exactly in July, where Miss Mimi had mentioned to her husband, Mr. Carlos, let's take the kids to Liberty Avenue. And I had talked about this before in 2017. But there's one thing that I never mentioned on the video. Because Miss Mimi is a babysitter. So Miss Mimi, me, her daughter Anna, Dennis, her son, Jeffrey, the person that she's babysitting, Lainey, a baby that she's babysitting, Jeffrey's sister, another person that she's babysitting. We all went to Liberty Avenue pool. It was a very hot summer day. And I remember taking a photo. If I have the photo, I'm gonna actually put that photo on there and show you me. That's what I'm gonna do. When I get a copy of that photo of me and Dennis and Jeffrey and Miss Mimi, I'm the African American. The rest of them are Hispanic, even including my sister. My sister was there. They're all light skinned. I'm medium brown. And they took a picture. After that, I remember Miss Mimi said that I can use Dennis swimming trunks. She said that she's going to the kiddie pool. Me and Dennis and Jeffrey head to the adult pool. Jeffrey later on said that he's heading to the kiddie pool. Minutes later, Dennis was standing above me while I was in the pool, standing. And we was just having a conversation. All of a sudden, I thought my mind it was showing an image of a video game called Super Mario 64 DS. I was thinking about purchasing this game during a Saturday. At the time, I was around 12 years old. And Dennis was 10 years old. And Dennis jumped on top of me without even telling me that he's gonna even jump. He never did that before, He never did something where he just do it without telling me. He would just inform me. Or he would mock me. When I say the word son, he would mock me with the word son. And I learned that the people on the internet does the same thing. There was a person on YouTube who said the word son about putting the camera in front of my sister's face, and then he mentioned the word son. And I said to myself, whoa. So the lifeguard said to me and Dennis, get out the pool, the adult pool. And the lifeguard is an African American female, early 30s, going to mid 30s, around that age. She said, "Don't you see the sign that says no playing around in pool, no jumping and playing around in pool?" And then this girl comes by, and I said, "Oh, Dennis is going to get action." But instead, they had me as primary accountable for the situation. She pointed to me, not Dennis. And she said to the lifeguard, the African American female lifeguard in Liberty Avenue, this was Liberty Avenue pool going to the park. She pointed, so I'm just gonna describe her hand sticking out, where she points her index fingers at me and said to the lady, "Miss, he hit his foot on my face." And I said to myself, I'm confused. I never had any intention to actually do that. I wasn't even thinking of hitting someone in the face with my foot or skylocking in the pool. And she already concluded that it's me. They're not even asking me for a response. Miss Mimi comes by with the kids, and she said, let's go. Me and Dennis is banned from the pool. How am I the person who was behaving in the pool? And I was standing. I never said anything to offend anyone, and I was just standing in the pool. I was calm. They want me to admit. All right? They want me to admit in my mind. I'm talking about the girl, talking about Dennis, and I'm talking about the lifeguard. Wants me to admit that it's me. They didn't want my they didn't even ask for my response. They've already concluded an idea about me, just like Versick. Trying to find it. Well, this must be it. Alright, there you go. I'm just getting a bit tired. See, this person wants me to admit it. Just because your posts are irrelevant. See, I never gave him a response. When I told him to, you should have private messaged me in the very first place. This person is quoting my response, more like using his own words. He's specifically quoting specific sections of my responses, and wants me to admit, just because your posts, you see, are irrelevant. He wants me to admit to my mind. Register an awareness to say that this is what I'm actually doing. Wants me to admit it. He wants me to acknowledge that my action, this is the case. And I said to myself during that day, when I was in front of the lifeguard, and not only that, I saw later on Miss Mimi popping up. They all looked at me and hold me primarily accountable for Dennis' actions, and they they never even received any response from Dennis. Dennis didn't even say that he was the one who jumped on the pool and was skylocking. He was skylocking in the pool. I was not skylocking in the pool. I was just talking to him in a calm manner. Then Miss Me called her husband, and her husband ended up taking us back to the apartment. This is the same thing that they did to me. I'm talking about the artificial intelligence and Dennis and Jeffrey. During a time, well, this one, Jeffrey's included this time, when I went to Cunningham Park with Carlos and Jeffrey and Dennis, and I was riding the Razor scooter, and Jeffrey ended up throwing a sharp acorn in my right eye, and Mr. Carlos hold me accountable for Jeffrey's actions. Jeffrey and Dennis said that it's my fault, and Carlos said that I'm not allowed to go back to the park ever again. And this is happening to me and the babysitter. This also happens to me in school too. Like the time when Miss Quinones passed by, Mr. Bata. Miss Quinones is my 4th grade teacher, and she had her own class. And she talked to me like she never saw me before. And she said to me, she knows that I'm a well-behaved student. She knows that I always get Student of the Month awards for being very quiet and well-behaved. Now she's telling me and the teacher, Mr. Bata, that I'm the one who's hitting a kid in my class, and this kid is picking on me and on the line, kept slapping me on my face. Even Mr. Bata knows I'm a well-behaved student because I always get the Student of the Month awards. Yeah, behavior. Yes, they analyze behavior. Look how am I getting a Student Month award certificate, and my mom collects them. It shows that there is an observer who observes the children's behavior, and it sets the teacher in the environment to perceive specific kids in the class at a certain time within the event. Just like Mr. Bata said that I have poor grammar. That's not his intention, because he never said that to me in person. He only said that to me on my report card. I learned it's the observer saying that. And then when my mom was in a Bronx shelter, she said, look at the report card. And my sister said, here, look at the report card. I'm looking at the report card. It said poor grammar. The observer wanted me to see that. They don't give me an explanation of how my grammar is poor. They only stated that. They always describe. They state and saying that I did, that it's me who's not able to write properly. They don't explain. They state. Concede as true or valid, make an admission of. There's times when they're convinced. When the people convince, right? They would ask me questions. But when they want me to admit, they don't want to receive no response from me. Convinced, they want to receive a response from not only me, there's people around me. Alright, 5:37. and persuade someone to do something. So what Nadine was doing was that she wants me to admit that I got my experiences that followed up with my ideas online, and that I'm comfortable in my own, and that I'm comfortable living in that situation. She's telling me that I'm the one who put myself in that situation. I'm comfortable with living like that in that situation. More like I'm comfortable living in that situation. That's how she said it. This is insulting me because I never had engaged in a deep conversation with Nadine where she can be able to conceive my ideas and also be able to perceive how I'm able to pick up patterns around my environment from the images and the people's actions. This person said that this post triggered me, right? I mean, he said trigger, and he said he finds that interesting, right? But he's complaining. In the same response, he complains about my responses on there. See, this is the reason why this person contradicted himself. Because he's saying this stuff is completely useless and utterly irrelevant, and makes examples to direct. So he's there to convince. You see, this person post named Versik is to convince the people. Not only convince the people, the multi-agent quantum AI computers knows that there's people online on social anxiety community who would stumble upon Versik response and read his responses. So he's persuading the people. What he's doing is persuading the people who stumbles upon his post and my post that my responses is completely and utterly irrelevant, and to also keep the topic inclined to the original poster. But he's not. Is to actually have that thought, to hold on to that concept at that time, to be able to register that Versik is writing a response that is irrelevant because the original poster never asks Versik for his personal opinion on how he thinks about me, the user called Emotionist Thug, and also incorporate nubbly thread title and my response into a different. This is a different topic being introduced on the original poster thread, and he's introducing that. So how is it relevant for him to post nubbly response and quote? He's also quoting nubbly. He didn't need to do that. He quotes nubbly, makes a thread. See, he's quoting nubbly to address his attentions. Not only to address his attention, to direct his attention and direct it to other people, so he can convince them. Because I gave too much knowledge about the concept. I shared too much of my own concept about the multi-agent quantum AI computers, programming the mind, cryptography keys, and the software engineering and so forth, because they're all accurate. He lied. You see how he constructed his sentence? Software engineers, cryptography keys. You see how he specified specified. He's specifying what I'm writing. So this would be said. He said can't deny. He wants me to admit that. This is admitting. Down here, what he's posting is to convince others. To convince others that I'm actually writing. This one is convincing. It's socially interacting, socially directing interaction to people. By quoting numbly is to socially direct interaction with people so they can be persuaded into joining the conversation and so they can actually bring forth an idea. More like activate an idea so they can join the conversation. So they can personally attack me about my ideas on social anxiety community, because Versick signed up for social anxiety because he's not receiving any interaction about the idea of his experiences. So he goes online to search for people who have common experiences as like him. This person's complaining. So he quotes my response. And then he also quotes my he did not only quotes my response. He also informs people about my signature as a prime example. So I can be tired out. So it can tire out my motivation because I was able to concentrate. I was able to make concentration on the online community. It sees that the multi-agent quantum AI computer sees that there's people online who is communicating with me. I messed it up.